Hey guys, it's me, Blaine, with Solo YGO. I'm back here again, bringing back seems like a fan favorite deck that seems to be doing pretty well. Let's bring back my Lair of Darkness deck, and I will give props to the original build from like 2 years ago to Dark Arm Duelist. That's where I originally got this idea, and I've just been changing it up for my own use. Jay can remember this deck from I think one of the first few locals we went to. It was when Sword Soul was, in its prime, and I was one of the few decks that actually gave him some trouble. So let's get into it.
It was our first ever game.
It was. So we're gonna start off. I got one copy, Darkest Diabolos, Lord of the Lair. He's the boss monster of it. He can't be tributed by opponent's effects, so if you manage to summon 5 times in one turn, he can't get affected by the Nibiru. If a dark monster you control is tributed except during the damage step, you could special summon from the graveyard if it was there or if it's in your hand. So he just summons himself a lot. And then he can tribute a dark monster, and your opponent takes a card from their hand and either puts it on the top or the bottom of their deck. So a nice little hand rip. Next up, got one copy of Loris and one copy of Alice. Loris is really good for recycling traps. It's Lair of Darkness. We like our traps. Loris, if you could target 3 or 6 of your normal traps that are banished or in your graveyard, put them on the bottom of your deck in any order, and then draw 1 card for every 3. So it's like a Pot of Avarice kind of deal with trap cards. And then if another monster is tributed, or if a normal trap is sent to the graveyard by an opponent's card effect, so like Harpies, you could target a normal trap in the graveyard and set it. So you can use each of those once per turn. She's really good for recycling and, recycling. Alice, she can, when she's normal summoned, you can target a Lady of Lament monster in your graveyard, special summon it. So that's going to be Alice, Lilith, Malice, or even another Alice. She doesn't say you can't target another one of her. So then along with that, you can only use the next effects once per turn, but you could banish a trap from your hand or graveyard, special summon her. And if she's tributed, or if she's destroyed in the owner's possession by an opponent's card, you can add a Fiend monster whose combined attack and defense equal 2,000 from deck to hand. So that's all the Ladies of Lament. I got one copy of Malice. She can tribute 2 monsters and target a normal trap that's banished or in graveyard, set that target. So trap recycling, and then it goes to the bottom of the deck after it's when it leaves the field, so it's not getting banished again. Then 2 copies of Lilith, the most important lady of the deck. Basically, if she's normal summoned, which is half the time, her attack goes down to 1,000. You don't really care about that, but she's got a quick effect to tribute a dark monster. That's the cost, by the way, so if there's a skill drain, she can still do that. Remember that for later. Then you reveal 3 traps from your deck, and your opponent chooses 1 at random, and it gets set, and the other 2 get shuffled into the deck. And it's normal traps, keep that in mind. We like our normal traps. We're like Labyrinths, but we're cooler. We got 2 copies of Arima. He's basically a terraforming for the deck. You can discard him to add a Lair of Darkness from deck to hand, but also you can tribute a dark monster, once again for cost, to draw a card. Or if the dark monster was not him, you can add a dark monster with 2,000 or more defense from your deck to your hand, which is going to be Alice or Diabolos or a couple of other cards that might be in the deck. 3 copies of Tor. They're all fiends. Most of them are level 3s. She's a starter for it. She gets hit with an Ash, it's not fun. But hey, she's a starter. I run 2 copies of Lord of the Heavenly Prison. This is the newest addition to this deck. We run a lot of back row. We want to protect that back row and use and abuse that back row. He's unfortunately not a fiend, but he's a big dark rock. Alright. Got 1 copy of Magnamut because he can only run 1. He could search out any of the other bestials, or he can search out Lord of the Lair, Diabolos. 1 copy of Sarnir. I don't run any branded stuff, so his effect doesn't come in, but he's dark. He's got the attack and defense to be searched out, so, and I mean, free special summons. 2 Druid Worms. I'm pretty sure right now he's the big boy in the format right now. Druid Worm, you know, just send he's the one that gets sent. Yeah, if he's sent to the field of the graveyard, target a special summon monster for your opponent controls, send it to the grave. Just really good removal. Non-destruction, good against Fire Kings. Then 2 Baldrakes. For him, he actually works really well in this deck specifically because when the opponent special summons a Ritual, Fusion, Synchro, Xyz, or Link monster, so anything with the extra deck plus Rituals, you contribute 1 light or dark monster and then target one of those special summon monsters and banish it. We're a Lair of Darkness deck. Everything on the field's dark and tributable, even the opponent's monsters. Got 1 Sangan, we know what he do, we know what he's good at. A Dark Honest, it's fun to hit people with this when they attack and you're like, Dark Honest, and their monster has 0 attack. Because it's a tribute deck, and we like to tribute stuff, we got a Lava Golem. We got a Sphere mode, you know, removal of hurtful things on the field's fun. And then just because I like Jank and Spice, also run 1 copy of the actual Raw. Yep, that's right. 1 copy of the actual Raw, just because I'm going to come back with that Sphere mode. It's going to hit my field, and I'm going to hit you with a 4K Wing Dragon or Raw.
You delinquent motherfucker.
I am. On to the spells. 1 copy of Call By. This should go back to 3. There's no reason for it to be at 1. 2 copies of Fang of Critias. You'll see with the traps I run in the deck and my extra deck why I run it. He fuses with trap cards to summon various fusion monsters. And it's fun. 2 Super Polys. Everything's dark. Obviously, we're going to be super polying your board. And then 3 copies of the main card of the deck, Lair of Darkness. So everything on the field becomes dark, and then once per turn, if I would tribute a monster to activate a card effect, so that's trap, spell, monster, whatever, I could tribute one of the opponent's monsters as if it's my own. Surprised there's not a Lair of Darkness Monarch deck out there, because that'd be kind of cracked, actually. Also, it gives tokens at the end of the turn that is mandatory to the turn player. So, say I tribute 2 monsters on the opponent's turn. At the end of the turn, the opponent gets 2 tokens. That is a mandatory effect. It can get hit with Ghost Ogre. On to the traps. Got a Full Force Virus. You tribute 1 dark monster with 2,000 more defense. Check your opponent's hand and all monsters they control and all cards they draw until the end of the 3rd turn after this card, and destroy all those with 1,500 or less defense. Not many things have 1,500 or more anymore. Got Ring of Destruction. Fang of Critias target. It's a beautiful ultimate rare, by the way. Target a face-up monster field. Destroy that target. If you do, inflict damage. But, you know, it goes into one of my extra deck monsters that we will see. D-Barrier. It's just good, you know. It's a good going first card if you know what you're going against. Round 2 to that round 3, you just call like, oh hey, I'm gonna call Fusion, Synchro, Xyz, whatever, you know. Mirror Force, Fang Critias target. It's also funny when someone plays into it because no one expects it. Crush Card Virus. Obviously, it's not as good as it once was way back in the day, but it's a Fang Critias target, and that is as good as it once was back in the day. Eradicator. Let's just be real. A lot of decks can't deal with an Eradicator right now. Fire Kings, they like their spells. I call spells. Labyrinths, they like their traps. I'm going to hit that stuff. Grinning Grave Virus. This one, you tribute a monster with 3,000 or less attack, and the opponent destroys 1 card of their choice in their hand or deck for every 500 attack. So up to 6. That's a lot of cards that get destroyed. Unchained like it. Fire Kings kind of like it. And then if you tributed a monster with 2,000 or more attack, to activate the effect, you look at all cards the opponent draws to the end of their 3rd turn after this, and you destroy all monsters among them. And then cards destroyed and sent to the graveyard by its effects cannot activate their own effects that same turn. So, Unchained and Fire Kings don't like it that much. And then the last one, free range monsters. This one, during the main phase, immediately after this effect resolves, normal summoner set 1 monster. You know how funny it is when the opponent summons 3 monsters, you activate this and you hit them with a sphere mode on their own turn? It's hilarious. Alright, on to the extra deck. Beat Cop. Any Lair of Darkness deck runs this. If she's summoned using 2 dark monsters with different names, you can tribute a monster, target a face-up card on the field, any card, and place a patrol counter on it, and then you can use that to protect things. You remove the counter instead of the card. She's very good. Underworld Goddess. She's just, she exists. She's powerful. We know what she do. Dark the Dark Charmer. It's a dark deck. I'm gonna use him. IP Masquerena. It's a good generic Link 2 to have in there. I got 2 Mirror Force Dragons. I might lower that at some point, but hey, I got 2 just because I can recycle the traps and all that. So he's pretty busted. If anything on your field is targeted for battle or by card effect, you just blow up the opponent's field, and that's not once per turn either. So if they want to target you once, destroy everything, do it again, do it again. Doom Virus Dragon. He is the goodness that Crush Card Virus once was. You check the and it's only when he's special summoned. So unless they negate his special summon, Solemn Strike or something, it's gonna go through. When he's special summoned, you check the opponent's hand, all monsters they control, and all cards they draw until the end of their 3rd turn, and destroy all those monsters with 1,500 or more attack. And the 3rd one, Destruction Dragon. He's the one that goes with the Ring of Destruction. He's got a once per turn, you can target a card your opponent controls and destroy it. And if it's a monster, you inflict damage to the opponent equal to its attack. He got a big booty too, 3k.
Big booty.
Big booty. On to some super poly targets. Garura. I mean, same type and attribute. That's most decks. Most, not Mekanko. And because Lair of Darkness makes everything dark, the attribute part isn't hard to worry about. Plus, he's a good thing. If he goes to the graveyard, you get a draw. So, we got our Predaplant Trifaveritum. He takes 3 dark monsters on field. So, 3 monsters the opponent's off the board. No one really cares about the first effect where he gains attack because no one plays the Predaplant deck. If you do, hey, you're cool. I played it once before. But more so, his second effect, when the opponent would special summon a monster from the extra deck while you control him, specifically while fusion summoned, you can negate the summon and destroy that monster. Remember, this doesn't apply to things that are summoned off the resolution of spells and traps. So Dynamorphia cards kind of get around it, and spell cards get around it. And then 2 Starving Venoms. The most commonly known one. We know what he does. And then I got a couple Xyz monsters because I got some rank 3s. The Bamboozler. We know what he do. Got the Phantom Knights, a Breaksword. He's just an Xyz monster that's here to exist, honestly. And then Raid Raptor Ultimate Falcon. That's more of a going second and game 2 and 3 kind of card. I'll show you why. Because we're on to my side deck. In the side deck, I got another copy of the Sphere Mode. I run a copy of Lancia because sometimes I deal with banishing people and I don't like my stuff banished. Copy of Ash Blossom, just in case I need to throw it in there. Another Arima. Another Alice. Another Lilith. Then some traps to finish off. I got a Witch's Strike. It's not often that you'll proc this, but when you do, I guarantee it's a game winner. I beat a Fluunder Ease player because they negated the special summon of a monster of mine before and blew up everything he had. It destroys their board and their hand. It's hilarious when it goes off, but it's really hard to get because of timing. 2 copies of Destructive Daruma Karma Cannon. It's just a really good trap to get rid of things like, I don't know, say you're going against the Raid Raptor deck. Ultimate Falcon. It will get rid of that. Just board control. 2 copies of Awaken the Dragon. We're playing a back row deck. They're going to run back row hate. Prepare for that back row hate. 2 copies of Evenly Matched, because we know that Evenly Matched is cracked and it's good going second. And then 1 more Grinning Grave virus and 1 more Full Force virus. I don't know why, I just kind of threw the Full Force in there. It's just good. And that is the deck profile for you guys. If you guys like the mat, let me know also. I got this from, what is that, yourplaymat.com, I think it is. Some of you anime fans that have watched Oshinoko might recognize this, and you might hate on me. I got this mat specifically to troll my roommate who loves this anime. And, what should a question for this video be? What is your guys' favorite control strategies? For me, it's trap decks. Specifically, Lair is probably my favorite. It's followed by Subterror, but Lair, my favorite control strategy. Let us know down in the comments what your favorite one is. And yeah, that'll be it. Thanks for joining. Like, subscribe, share with your friends. All that fun stuff. Love you, bye.